Hello and welcome to another episode of the Fresh Perspectives podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Lauren, and I'm so glad you're here with me today. Today, I want to talk about something that has been on everybody's minds because it has been such a historic event, and that is the Artemis 2 mission. I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch the takeoff a few days ago. I just so happened to be home. I was on the couch watching Gilmore Girls, probably my go-to comfort show, and I got the notification that they were about to take off. I hadn't planned on watching it. I actually hadn't heard about the mission beforehand, but felt pretty lucky that I was in front of a TV at the moment of takeoff. So I turned on one of the news channels and I watched the takeoff, and it was so unexpectedly emotional. I cried. I wasn't expecting to cry, but I cried because, wow, to watch all of these people send these astronauts into space and watching that rocket ascend into the air, everybody's feeling anxiety and stress. Are they going to be okay? Are they going to make it? Is everything going to go according to plan? Watching that rocket hurl towards space, it was an emotional experience. And I don't really think that I have experienced something that I've watched on the news that has made me that emotional in a long time. So, why does space do this to us? I have a few theories, and maybe you can relate. First, space is a connection to something bigger. All of us live our lives day to day on Earth, obviously, but we live our day to day lives and we don't stop to ponder the stars very often. I distinctly remember that I was at a museum and I was maybe in high school and there was a whole room on space travel, and you can't help but be amazed when you read about the science and what goes into space discovery. I mean, it's amazing. As somebody who is challenged by math and not the best at science, I truly view space exploration as something that is miraculous. And while I went through the museum and as I watched, everything that happened this week with the mission, it just makes you realize how infinite space is. And that can bring up some really complex feelings inside as a human, as one human on Earth. To me, it puts my life in perspective, right? I went to the gym the next day after I watched the Artemis launch. And I remember I was on the leg press machine. And I was like, oh, this set is really hard. And I was like, there's four astronauts hurling around the Earth right now. And that just, I mean, it puts everything into perspective. I feel like going to space is the bravest, most exciting thing that a human can do. It's also an amazing example of what humans are capable of when they work together. Obviously, only four astronauts went into space, but there are teams of so many people behind them. And you can't help, again, feel emotional when you see mission control and you see all of these people that are supporting these four people that are in space. It was a similar feeling to me of watching a marathon. Only a certain amount of people are running that marathon, but everybody is there cheering them on. And I think that's a reminder that as humans, we need each other. When a person embarks on a large journey, a grand journey, whatever that journey is, maybe it's motherhood, maybe it's running a race, they need the support of their community. And I think events like this just show us what is capable and what is possible when humans come together to do something amazing. Outside of that experience that the astronauts had and that mission control had and NASA had, it was also a beautiful experience as somebody on Earth. Last night, the astronauts touched down into the ocean, and I was out to dinner, and it was so cool to see how every single table had that moment up on their phone. I feel like this mission has brought us together. It has given us a shared experience. And I think what's so beautiful is how organic that experience is. You think about things like the Super Bowl, where, viewership numbers through the roof, everybody's watching it, everyone's talking about it the next day. But there is an element of it's manufactured. With space, it's so organic and it's so real. There's no advertising, there's no guarantee. Everybody's watching in shared hope and shared anticipation and shared dreams. And it's so beautiful. And I'll leave this episode with this last thought. I am in my world history era. I studied history in school, obviously, like all of us did, but I'm finding myself fascinated with returning to some of those studies and learning about what people were thinking and feeling back in history. And so many stories and experiences that are recounted from our global history are humans trying to understand the world, trying to understand the weather, trying to understand where the sun goes when it's not in the sky, why it rains, what gravity is. Everything that we know today was explored at once in our past. And I'm getting chills right now because I can only imagine what the people back in history would think and feel if they knew that we were in space. And I also get chills because I can't even begin to imagine what the future of space exploration looks like. I feel beyond lucky to be alive and to be able to experience the world in a time where we've sent people into space. But I know that the future is going to be even crazier and wilder than I can even imagine. And so I hope that, like me, this week of watching the 4 astronauts in space on Artemis 2 has left you with a sense of awe. It's left you with a sense of inspiration and curiosity. And maybe, like me, it's fueled you a little bit. It's given you hope that we can come together as a shared humanity and share this amazing and beautiful experience with each other. This has been another episode of the Fresh Perspectives podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Lauren, and I'm so glad you were able to listen to this episode today. I'd love to hear from you and would love to hear what you are thinking and experiencing and feeling watching Artemis 2 this week. You can connect with me on Instagram at Fresh Perspectives Pod, as well as shoot me an email at thefreshperspectivespod@gmail.com.